Let's do a garden tour. It is July 11th, and I'm just going to show you kind of where we're at. I dug all this up and did sunflowers last year. This year I wanted to do some more kind of privacy featuring vegetables. And so what I've done is I'm growing some pole beans. They're doing really well. This one was just like way over. So hopefully the whole fence is going to be covered here. Very healthy. I've got a pumpkin that I transplanted that I'm trying to grow up the fence. So a lot of this stuff is like experiment type stuff, especially in the non-raised beds. So I've got tons of stuff planted in here. Lots of dahlias all along the way. Some are tubers and then others are ones that I've done from seed. The ones from seed are actually doing better than the tubers. Surprisingly, I'd heard the opposite, that it actually takes 2 years. But anyway, so here's a volunteer sunflower that we've got going here. This is one, just a seed from one of my mammoth sunflowers from last year. And then we've got snap peas, which are doing really well, super healthy. I started them in a big row down here, and now they're kind of growing their way up. And then, yeah, more dahlias. I got status that I have grown from seed. And then more beans that I've run as kind of a succession. So once those beans start to die off, these will kind of be in full maturity. So we'll have lots of beans. But really the big thing is that I've just got a lot of nosy neighbors and nothing but just full open space. And literally every time somebody walks by here, they're like staring with the heat of 1,000 suns, just trying to figure out what it is I'm doing back here. And then we've got a cucumber here. This is, looks like might have been a transplant. I can't remember if I grew it indoor or if I grew it from seed. I think it's a transplant, but there are like tons of cucumbers growing on this one. So I'm really excited to see kind of what happens with this one. It's really growing up the fence in the way that I was hoping. More dahlias. These are dahlias from, looks like seed. I don't see any old shoots anywhere. And so I'm really surprised at how well those are doing. I think this is the perfect spot for sun. It gets the absolute full sun in the entire garden. Here's a big sunflower. This is going to be like kind of a maroon colored multi-head bloom. And it looks like it's getting ready to bloom here. And so usually, in a few weeks, it should look pretty good. Potatoes that I'm mounding here. This is kind of a new experiment, growing them in the ground, and then I'm mounding them with straw. So they seem to be growing really well, nice and tall. And then the straw is holding up pretty well. So I actually don't know much about the growth cycle of potatoes. So I could be doing it all wrong, but it's growing. So I guess we'll be all right. More beans, more succession beans. These are looking really good. They're going to start growing up the fence soon. And then this is like where I just started tossing seeds as I was kind of running out of space for flowers and stuff. So I'm just kind of letting this do its thing. And I barely water it. I don't, so this is where just all of my reject plants end up. So there's a little bit of everything in here. A couple of zucchinis that I'm hoping will make their way. We'll see. Okay, so check this out. These are my Brussels sprouts, and they are really, really healthy. I've got them under a shade cloth, and they are just like super happy. And then the basil is finally starting to kind of, get that bushy kind of large leaf thing. They were kind of spindly for a long time, but these were all grown from seed. And last year I couldn't get any basil to grow at all. So I'm like so excited to be able to get this going. We've got fresh pesto in the freezer, more to come. It's just very exciting. Here's my wonderful from seed marigolds that are doing really well. They get just as much fertilizer as everything else. This is my pepper bed. This was my big project for 2026. The first half are mostly green chili, Big Jim Heritage green chilies from the New Mex project. And they're growing well, but they're not growing big, unfortunately. But we've got tons of really nice looking green chili peppers. And we've already even harvested one because it started to kind of turn red. And then there's a couple of other random poblanos. And we've got this Santa Fe Grande that's just finally starting to turn red. It had this wonderful pale yellow color, and now they're going to be bright red. And this is my Thai chili, if you ever want to see a difference between soil and possibly sun, take a look at this exact same pepper. Oh, sorry. That came from the same set of seeds, and it's completely different. I mean, so like, am I a master gardener? I don't know. Or do I just have good soil? It's hard to tell. The idea was to do 4 peppers, but I loved the idea of taking the seeds from my mammoth sunflower and trying to grow them as big as possible. And so that's what we're doing. I'm just babying these and doing this kind of living soil, living mulch thing. I barely water these because I'm growing clover, and I just cut it down like grass and let it die on top, and I throw fertilizers and other types of amendments as we go. And so I'm just, this has become this kind of lasagna layer soil with this amazing mulch on top. And it's just perfect, nice and moist soil. And so we're doing that with the peppers and the sunflowers. And so the peppers are not getting that big, but they are producing fruit. So I guess that's good. The idea was that I was going to have peppers that were like this big, kind of bushing out, and they're just like not doing it. But the sunflowers are looking good. And as we learn with gardening, all of the things that you set out to do and all of the plans that you have never work out. But then all the stuff that you just throw in the ground ends up just becoming the most amazing plant. And so you hide all of your really bad stuff and then show all the really good stuff. And then all of a sudden everybody on the internet thinks you're an amazing gardener. So that's my plan. Okay. Here's our garlic. This garlic came from my mom's garden, and she sent this big bag of bulbs to me. And so I popped them all down in the soil, and they're just growing really well. And you should see hers. I'll show you a clip of that, but like, it's even bigger. But we're pretty excited for some, in a few weeks here, we're gonna have some pretty large garlic. And I don't think I've ever really been able to grow garlic. This is my tomato bed. I'm doing the same thing with the living soil, kind of an experiment. I started most of these tomatoes all on the same day. Some of them are clones. This one is a clone of this one because this one kind of outgrew its pot. It was root bound, so I just threw it in the ground pretty early. It caught a couple of close frosts, but it seems to be picking up in growth now and getting kind of bushy, and now it's grown past our T-post. So I used the Florida weave method. These are all cherry tomatoes for the cherries, and it seems to work. I did it last year, and it really just kind of does this amazing kind of bush, and then it leans over, and it's just really beautiful, and it produced, a ton of cherry tomatoes are produced. Oh, and then I've got a couple of, this is another pumpkin. I've got these dwarf pumpkins that I'm doing I'm not even sure why. I think that they were growing well in the early parts of the spring, so I put them out in the ground because I just needed something, anything to grow, and so now we're gonna have a ton of pumpkins and nothing to do with them. And then I've still got seeds going here in July. Nothing has come out yet, but I've got to put another zucchini plant in here because we've just got some extra space and it grows pretty fast. This is kind of a throw anything into the ground and not worry about it. And I had no idea as far as space goes, but I put a few ground cherries that were about this big, this wide, sticking out, and now they are just taking over everything. It's kind of amazing. And there's tons of fruit here, tons of berries or whatever you would call them. I don't know if you can see those in there, but what they do is they produce kind of a small yellowish semi-sweet cherry with a ton of seeds in it, but the seeds are so small that you can't even taste them. So it's mildly sweet. So the idea is we're gonna make a jam out of it. I'm a huge fruit person and a big yogurt and dessert person, like yogurt and fruit person. So I am trying to figure out how the hell to grow fruit in the Midwest and not break the bank spending however much money on grocery store fruit. So we'll get there, but the ground cherries are a lot of fun. I've probably grown too many. And then we've got our eggplant here, and this also has already got some fruit on it. This is for Dana. Dana really likes eggplant. I'm not a huge fan. I'm happy to eat it every once in a while, but I didn't know what I was gonna do. I bought this little start. It was like this big, it had like 3 leaves on it, and then man, it just shot up in growth. And now we've got all of these flowers, one fruit here. So if we end up with 2 or 3 fruits, it's gonna be kind of amazing, I think. So
I didn't know there was a fruit on that.
yeah, I think I showed you in that video. You can see it here. Like, isn't that amazing?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a fucking eggplant.
Yes.
Man. Cantaloupe, I'm just doing 2. These are starts from the garden center just across the street. They're growing really well. Lots of flowers. There's, no fruit setting or anything like that, but it'll get there eventually. Now this is my big beast of a squash. You can see how big this guy's getting. I'm trying to kind of train him to come over here. So it can, there's tons of sun over here and not a whole lot growing. So I'm trying to get this to kind of work its way here, and then this will be closed off from walking through. These are my blue oyster mushrooms. I inoculated just a small grain bag. I bought some liquid culture online, and once that was fully inoculated, I mixed them with sterilized, or I guess I should say pasteurized wood pellets, cedar and hickory wood pellets. So hopefully we'll get these huge flushes of oyster mushrooms over 3 or 4 cycles, and so that's a decent amount of mushrooms.
Where'd you get those pallets? Anyway, these things just show up in this garden.
I just grabbed stuff. These are the 2 beds that I started with, and I think that probably in the middle of August, I just went out in the middle of the afternoon and took a look at the sun out here. And there was like tons of sun right here, but generally this area does not get a ton of sun, especially back here, almost none. And so I've had so many issues with plants back here because the water drains down, it's wet, and there's all this shade from the trees. I guess, what is this stuff called? Oregano. I guess oregano grows really well in like a little bit of darkness and just full wet, but nothing else seems to grow. So you can see it's kind of messy, but as you get a little closer to where we've got like full sun, we've got wonderful onions growing, lettuce, kale. And so, yeah, and then I put a bunch of dahlias in here because I just had no room and a whole bunch of extra dahlias. These are all the seed dahlias that I had, and now they're all budding. Like, they look amazing. All right, this is my strawberry patch. I bought 6 strawberry plants from a woman about 20 miles from here, and they're growing well, but they probably need another year or 2 before they really start producing fruit. We got like, what did we get to eat? Like 3 or 4?
I didn't get to eat any.
You didn't get to eat any? Oh, you ate 1.
It was you and the squirrels.
Me and the squirrel. So I ate like 3 strawberries at most, and Dana, I'm pretty sure, had 1, but doesn't remember having any. The container plants last year, it was out of control. It was like buckets and all kinds of stuff, and so I wanted to go not too crazy with it this year, get everything I could in the ground rather than in containers. And so we've got this wonderful lavender that has been growing since April indoor, and I don't know if it's ever gonna grow. And someone told me, oh, just next year it's gonna be amazing. I'm like, dude, I'm in Wisconsin. Like, what am I supposed to do with it for the winter? And then, of course, our Fred's tie-dye. I just took a tomato off of that. And then just the belle of the ball for some reason this year are the cherry tomatoes that come off of this dwarf plant. This red robin plant is amazing. We've had just an amazing early harvest. It's been so much fun to watch and eat, of course. And then this is my teddy bear sunflower. This is also a dwarf variety of sunflower, and it kind of grows. The petals almost look like teddy bear material, but it's like yellow and it looks like soft. It's kind of amazing. I'll put a photo in there of like what the seed pack looks like, but very excited to see what this thing ends up looking like. And apparently like the heads on it are like this big. So, all right, and so these are my succulents. This one came from a colleague's spouse as a housewarming gift, and it was just this little stem sticking out of this tiny little terracotta pot, and it had like 1 or 2 leaves on it, or whatever you would call it. And I've been meticulously trimming, keeping it under a really bright light and in perfect conditions until I finally brought it outside this year. But it's growing so perfectly.
The chill zone. Oh.
This is the chill zone where we chillax.